Hey, good Thursday morning. Happy Halloween to everybody. This is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Benovich. Here's a severe weather update for today. I was hoping the timing would speed up or slow down. Unfortunately, not a lot of change, though. I am a little interested in how quickly the line moves, in that maybe we can get it through by 6 or 7, and that means late night trick or treating might be okay. But let's get right to the details first. Most important, a new update on the severe weather outlook. If you missed this morning or overnight, entire area still under the medium threat, but the higher threat was brought down to parts of the northern Piedmont, Salisbury, Statesville, Taylorsville, Boone, Jefferson area. So higher threat has been pushed down a little bit, and it's really this area along the Piedmont and up to the northeast that we're worried about. Let me show you the tornado probabilities today. Our entire region is under the 5% probability, and that means there's a 5% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of where you are, any point on the map. So if you move, that chance goes up, by the way. A lot of people don't realize that. You can see the 2% chances in the yellow, so if you can't see that, I moved my head there for a second. Damaging wind threat is 15%, so that means there's a 15% probability of damaging winds within 25 miles of your location, and it's a 30% probability in that area in red, thus the reason we have the higher risk up there. Real quickly this morning, I'm going to show you current radar because we've got some lines ahead of the main line. There's some scattered storms moving through the upstate. Excuse me. And this one I've been watching carefully because it's had rotation in it at times. There was a severe thunderstorm warning with that line, but that line is pushing off to the north and east. You can see the severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for that line. So these rogue cells ahead of the main line are something we have to watch. And I'll show you the main line. It's still back here in Tennessee, and you can see the rogue showers and storms ahead of it. Look how warm and muggy it is out there. If you haven't been outside today, this air mass advecting or transporting to the north is very soupy. 70s with 70-degree dew points. Some cases low 70s. It feels like the middle of summer out there. So the atmosphere is very ripe. And if I look carefully, there's breaks in the clouds in South Carolina and Georgia. And that's what's pushing ahead of the main line, which is still back to the west. Also of note, this STP, significant tornado parameter, currently there is a little spike along 85 with this first line, but you can see it beginning to build. STP, by the way, is called the significant tornado parameter. It's a parameter we look at for the potential for rotating storms, and it's on a 0 to 10 scale. So these are generally in the 0.5 to 1. So anything around 1 and higher, I start to get a little worried. So the fact that we're already seeing it this morning is certainly something that we need to keep a close eye on. So let's go to the radar here. Warm front drifting to the north. You probably have felt that move through during the overnight hours. Let's get right to the timing of this whole mess. All right, let's get right to the breakdown. Obviously, the rogue showers and storms ahead of the main line today is something to keep an eye on as it pushes off to the east, but it's this main line back to the west, and we'll go through time. This is at 10 a.m., so within the next hour. We'll go to 11 a.m. We'll stop this at noon. So at noon, the concern is all that clearing I showed you down here in South Carolina is being transported to the north, amping up the atmosphere, basically juicing it up for the line heading in from the west. Very strong wind fields. And what I mean by that is down at the surface, the winds are going to be coming out of the south between 25 to 50 miles an hour, up to 5,000 feet. Just off the surface, around 5 to 10,000 feet, the winds are coming from the southwest. And as you get higher up in the atmosphere, the winds are coming like that. So from the ground up, the wind is changing direction with height. We call that wind shear. There is a ton of it today. And if you get this fuel, which is the heat and humidity, oh, it's a bad combo for this line. The only good news, this line is going to be flying. So it's going to be quick hitting and out of here. It's just a matter of when it gets here. So let's talk about that. This is 1 o'clock. Here is 2 o'clock. Here is 3 o'clock. So by 3 o'clock, I expect the line to be moving into the mountains. And again, we got to keep an eye on all these storms out ahead of it. They could rotate. If those get going, we're in trouble. But the main line poses more of a wind threat with some embedded tornadoes. These isolated storms ahead of it would be much more of a tornado threat. So just keep that in mind when you're staring at the radar today. We'll go to 4 o'clock. Again, look at that line developing and moving in. We'll go to 5 o'clock. That is what we call a QLCS, a squiggly squall line. The fact that there's little kinks in it, each one of these kinks could have embedded rotation or tornadoes, and then the whole line is pushing really straight line winds. So this is at 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock, right over us. So the timing has not changed at all. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. So if you're thinking about, hey, can I wait this out? You're going to have to wait till probably after 8 o'clock. unless it picks up speed. So again, let me go back. This is basically 3:41, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then pushing off to the east. So you get the idea. That line is just going to be nasty as it moves through and then pushes off to the east. So, I mean, the timing is bad. It's just bad, folks. I don't know any way to say it. Here's 5 o'clock. Here's 6 o'clock. Here's 7 o'clock. Here's 8 o'clock. Here's 9 o'clock. Here's 10 o'clock. So let's go back. We'll do it one more time. 4 o'clock. We got to play this through one more time. There we go. We'll go back. There we go. It's got to reload. So it's reloading. So there it is. 5 p.m. Again, 5 p.m. 6 p.m. Just look real quickly. 7 p.m. 8 p.m. So all along this time, we'll be watching for those STP values to be spiking up across the region. So again, one more time, I'll loop this through a couple times so you can see it completely as it barrels across the region between basically 4 p.m. and about 8 p.m. tonight. So the time frame, I can narrow it down a little bit better. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. So 4 to 8, there's a 4-hour window there, but once you get on the backside, so what I would recommend for people, and this is just me, I would not try to get out ahead of this playing chicken. It's like, hey, let's go out and run ahead of a car and see if we can get out of the way in time. I would wait till it passes. That's a much safer option if you're going to go out tonight and do some trick-or-treating. Let it pass, and then once the line moves through, the all clear, the backside, you have no severe weather threat. So let's talk about those rotating storms, because one of the parameters I look at is that updraft helicity. It's essentially the model telling me which storms have the potential to rotate. So we'll go into the afternoon hours. I'm going to stop this at about 2 p.m. You don't see a lot there. We'll go to 3 p.m., 4 p.m. So we're seeing the line coming together. And in there, there's some embedded rotation. Nothing super strong, but some that I would keep an eye on. Now we're starting to see something. This is heading towards 5 p.m. Maybe some rotation in that cell, some rotation there, and some rotation right there. Let's go to 6 o'clock. The rotation gets stronger. There's a cell north of Charlotte, and then a cell coming into York County, Chester, maybe Mecklenburg County. And then we'll go to 7 o'clock. You could see the strong rotation moving through Western Union County, Panhandle of Lancaster County, up towards Albemarle. And again, these are rotation tracks, so basically a 1-hour indication where the model thinks the updraft is rotating. Doesn't always mean a tornado, just means that the storm is rotating, and rotating updrafts are something we look at called a mesocyclone for potentially a tornado developing. Hopefully these won't produce tornadoes, but the fact that we're getting rotation in them is certainly something I'm keeping a close eye on. And then we'll go to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So just looking at those rotation tracks, that gives you a good idea. So hope this helps. I will be posting updates throughout the day. I'm going to be heading to work early, obviously, to track these storms. And again, I know a lot of folks got up really heated about changing plans. Okay, it is what it is now. If you didn't change your plans, please have a weather plan to get to shelter. More importantly, have a way to get warnings. And if you do get a warning, make sure your kids know where to go, how to shelter themselves, because this will have damaging winds and the possibility of tornadoes. I likely see some type of watch probably being issued, and it could be a tornado watch just based on the wind parameters. So just keep that in the back of mind as you plan for the evening. Please be safe. Make sure you're prepared. It's nothing wrong with going out as long as you have a plan. You have a way to get a warnings, and you act on those plans immediately. So have a great Halloween. I will post updates, and stay tuned for more.